Good evening, YouTube. Welcome back again to LEGO Harry Potter Collection, where we are playing through years 1 through 4. And we are still in year 4 storyline. It's been a week or two since the last gameplay footage. Provide a little bit of update on things that are happening in my life, in my collecting life, as we continue on with another level or two on this Sunday evening. So today I went to my first garage sale of the season. It's early May and starting to get somewhat warmer enough for garage sales to start in my region. And first, I had one garage sale that showed up a couple days ago on Craigslist, and I got my mail for it, and I was gonna check that out. And then this morning, email pops up right as I'm in the shower that there's yet another one in down the street from the other one I was gonna go to, and it just popped up like. It was for today. It popped up like right a couple minutes before it started. So it was must have been like very last minute they decided they were going to throw a garage sale up. It turns out I found out that their neighbor had put up a garage sale, and they're like, oh yeah, we should do that too. And so they threw together a whole bunch of items and put a quick post up on Craigslist, and they were off to the races. So it was good that I originally thought about not going to the other one because I was just not feeling it this morning. I wasn't sure there was going to be anything, and if I hadn't gotten this other garage sale, I probably would have been very disappointed with the one I was actually going to wait for. I didn't contact the person like I should have. See what they had, because then I would find out they didn't have console games, they had PC games. But I ended up getting stuff anyway, which I'll cover here in a few moments. So the first garage sale, so I go, it doesn't give a specific street address, so I go to the street that they're on, and I figured, okay, I'll just look for garage sale sign. So, find the first garage sale sign, and I asked the lady about video games. She's like, we don't have any video games. I'm like, well, the Craigslist post said you did. Turns out it was the wrong house. Like, I didn't look at the picture close enough to see what the house looked like. And she's like, oh, well, our neighbors down the street, they just put together a, so she said she put it on Craigslist, but she didn't mention video games. I'm like, oh, it must be thinking of of another house. So she pointed me down the street, said there was her neighbor was having a garage sale, which they were. So, this was the correct house, because when I originally looked at the pictures, I mainly looked at what was on the table for the games. I saw a couple 64 games, I saw some SNES games, and what looked like possibly Xbox or Wii games, Xbox 360 or Wii games. I couldn't quite tell from the picture, they weren't very good quality pictures. But I could tell that there were games, so I'm like, alright, let's go ahead and go check out that place, see what we can get. So, I get there, and it actually is SNES games and 64 games. Wii games, not Xbox. But there was also box Genesis games, which they were all sports games. I could tell that most of these were the guy who was running this. Tell it was mostly a guy's game collection plus like kids games, because there was a Leapster there. And I thought for a moment about getting a Leapster for my 3-year-old niece, thinking, oh, maybe she'd like that. But I'm like, I only have so much money, and I want to kind of limit I only had so much cash, and I wanted to limit myself to what I had available to me. Especially if Because if I went to the other garage sale and didn't have any money, then I would have had to stop at the ATM again, and yada yada yada. So I decided not to get the Leapster thing, but I'm sure I could probably, if I really wanted to get my niece one of those, I could probably get it on Goodwill. Has a ton of those on their auction site, and I could probably get it for about the same price I would have paid at the garage sale. So what I ended up getting was a Nintendo 64 game. It was Superman. Now, I know that the Superman for the Nintendo 64 is notoriously bad, but I'm like, this is gonna be one of those games that I'm gonna play one of these days just to find out how bad it is. I've heard it's really bad. Like, I don't remember if it was bad because it was buggy, or if it was just bad because it wasn't a good story. So, we'll find out. He asked for $5 on it, and I'm like, I'm not gonna pay $5. This guy definitely looked up a lot of the game prices on either price charting or eBay, and was basically wanting eBay prices, or a couple dollars under eBay prices. And I'm like, I don't come to garage sales to do eBay prices. I come to garage sales to get deals. So he also had a Nintendo Select copy of Twilight Princess for the Wii, which I knew was outside. I knew was $20 retail, and he was asking for 10. So I'm like, 10 is a bit of a stretch, in my opinion, especially for a Nintendo Select version, because it's not the original retail copy. He also had a Wii game called Glassworks, which looks, I think I've heard of it, and so I figured I'll, check it out. It was only $3, not a big deal. Probably a budget title for the Wii. Wii was chock full of budget titles. So I got that, and then the last game I got was an NBA Jam for the Game Boy. Curious to see what that's like. I've got NBA Jam for the Genesis. I got both regular and tournament edition for the Genesis, and I'm curious to see what it's like for the original Game Boy. All of that I got for $23. So I saved some money on Superman from 64. I saved some money on both. I also got one more game I forgot. WarioWare Smooth Move, which was a game I originally owned on the Wii when I had my original Wii, which I still have my original Wii, but I don't own that game anymore. It was a really fun game. I remember it being a lot of fun. Just but mini games, and I like those mini games type games. We was chock full of those kind of games. So I don't know if I'm a fan of the Wario games. So that was good. He asked for 10 for that, so I got everything for 23, which essentially means that I got it for $10 cheaper than he wanted it, or $10 cheaper than what it was on price charting. So I essentially got one of the $10 for free, which I was fine with. So I ended up having to go back to the ATM to get some more money. I didn't really have a lot of cash on me to begin with, and went to the only other garage sale I was planning on going to today, which was the only one originally I was planning on going to before this one popped up. And turns out they didn't have. They did have 3DS game, which was Scribblenauts for $2.50. Forget which version it is. I don't have it in front of me right now. But I picked it up and I figured, what the heck? Scribblenauts is like. I think it's like a drawing type game, where you do some type of drawing on it. I picked up in a lot of Wii U games, Scribblenauts games for the Wii U. So I figured the 3DS would probably be a better better system to play a game like Scribble Nonsense. But the other games were PC games, and I really don't have any interest in PC games unless it involves any of the collections that I'm collecting for. Harry Potter, Star Wars, or Lego. And it happened to be that there was the first 3 Harry Potter games on the PC, just the jewel cases and the manuals, no boxes, but that really doesn't matter too much to me. You can definitely tell that they originally had boxes because the manuals were bigger than the actual jewel cases. Okay, I went all the way back here for nothing. Good job. So not a bad pickup for today. I have a video I've been meaning to upload that I put together 2 weeks ago, or last week, of a game store in the area I went to. I really like this game store. It's called Hall of Games. It's in Northwood, Ohio, which is about 20 to 30 minutes from where I live. It's about as far as I'm willing to go for retro game shopping, because it's it's not very close to where I live. But the guy who owns the store is really nice. He's got great prices. He does some pretty great things, some things that I appreciate. That makes my validation of going out that way worth it. Like, you know how a lot of game stores will often get loose carts, and they just sell the cart, and then you're stuck with trying to find a way to store them or whatever. Well, this guy that owns the store, his name is Chris. He gets those universal game cases and prints out inserts for them, and basically puts all his loose cart games in those game cases. It costs him maybe like $1, maybe $1 or $2 for him to buy those in bulk. He definitely gets them in bulk, so it costs him maybe like $1 a case. And his take on it is that it's a good customer service trick to do, to get people to come to his store and buy games from his store rather than the competition. The competition's going to sell you the game, just the cart. And the good thing is that he, of course, sells these games at cart prices, but you get a case with it, so you at least have a fairly nice case to put your game in. Makes it look good on your shelf. When you're a game collector, obviously you want to avoid loose carts at all possible because they don't look as good on your shelf. Some of the systems, like the 64, don't have side labels, so when you do have them on your shelf, you don't know which game's which. You can obviously get side labels through like Etsy or Zabel's Arcade is one place that I got them for my own 64 games. You basically buy a sheet with every 64 game on it for $20. So whatever I pick, even if I don't pick up that game, I have the label if I ever do decide to pick up the game. But this is an even better option because you go to the store and it has a box, the cart already in a box. Looks pretty good. Just printed on glossy paper, and his prices are actually really great, really good. He's very negotiable, very approachable about getting a discount if you're buying multiple games, or if you're a frequent customer, they give you discounts. So that's one of those videos that I need to get up because I wanted to advertise his store. It's in an area that you don't really expect gaming. Our area in general has only a couple game stores and predominantly just GameStops. And we don't really want to go to GameStop for retro games because, one, they don't sell their retro games in the store, and it's GameStop. I could go on a huge rant about how awful GameStop is. I still shop there. I don't know why. I think I'm just a glutton for punishment. But I have friends that have worked for GameStop and they tell me horror stories. Yeah, GameStop's not a great company. I'll tell a pretty interesting story. Kind of a bad customer service story for Amazon, which is very unusual for me. I am someone who purchases tons of stuff from Amazon and have nothing but good things to say about shopping with Amazon, dealing with Amazon customer service, up until this point. Now, I will say that this is probably an outlier. This is probably one of those situations where maybe Amazon couldn't really do anything, even though I feel like they should have been able to. They just didn't really try. But essentially what happened was, for a friend's birthday, I bought her a $50 Amazon gift card from a retail store, a Walgreens pharmacy, right down the street from my apartment. It was quick and easy for me to go in, pick up the card, because I was there to pick up the card, the actual birthday card. Why not get a gift card as well? So, I don't like getting online gift cards, printable gift cards. For one, I really don't have a printer right now, and two, I just think it's not as cheap if you actually get a physical gift card from about Target or grocery store or Walgreens, for instance. So I got the card and gave it to my friend for her birthday, and she goes to activate the card, and she can't activate it. She can't get the claim code to work on her husband's account. So she tells me, and she's just like, oh, I think you just have to go to Walgreens. Walgreens has to call Amazon. They can get it fixed. Probably the card's just probably not activated. Which it turns out it was correct. The card was not activated. But there's more to the story that makes it a bit different than your average thing doesn't work story. So I go to Walgreens. Walgreens tells me the usual spiel that they say, we can't do anything about gift cards. You have to call the company that issues the gift card, Amazon. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. I usually have no problem dealing with Amazon customer service. So I'm working, and so I can't sit on the cell phone for somebody from Amazon to do something about this. So I get into chat. I figure I could work and chat with the person at the same time, multitask, still work, and get my friend's issue fixed. It should be fixed in like minutes, because Amazon's really good about that. Well, the person I talked to in chat, I have a feeling it was new, because after she says she's going to investigate why the card wasn't working, she comes back and says, the reason it's not working is because I bought it at Walgreens. It said if I had bought it at Amazon.com, then it would be working. I said that that's not correct, because I bought gift cards through your store before through retail shops. Your company sells gift cards through retail shops. They are supposed to work this fine. So she's like, okay, just a moment. She goes back and I assume she's supposed to talk to somebody else who knows what they're talking about. And comes back and starts troubleshooting it more. And I give her the number, I give her the claim code, I give her everything she needs to look up the information, and she basically tells me what I already knew at that point. The card's not activated. she can't find the card in the system, so it must not be activated. And I said, okay, I realize that. I've been telling you that from the start because I figured that was the case. The card's not activated, but you guys should be able to activate it. And she told me it would take 3 to 5 business days. And I'm like, no, not. I mean, I'm sure that if it wasn't already a tenuous issue, it would take 3 to 5 business days. Sure, why not? Okay, possibly. But I can't have it take 3 to 5 business days. I need this fixed ASAP. This is for a friend's birthday. It's already bad enough that it's taken this long to try to get the issue fixed. So I said, no, I really like that a lot sooner. So she was kind of hemming and hawing, acting like she wasn't really doing anything. And I was already a bit irked by the fact that she originally had told me that it was because the card wasn't marked on Amazon's website, that's why it didn't work. So I'm like, okay, this person obviously doesn't know what they completely know what they're talking about, which, whatever. I work technical support. I know there are times where we're not told how to do certain things, or we're not properly communicated. So there are things that we may not know until we get to that situation or scenario and ends up being, oh, I didn't know that, and nobody told me. So here I am giving the wrong information because nobody told me what I really needed to do or what I could do to fix the problem. It happens. So I called them up and I explained the situation. I explained I think the card is not activated, that's why it's not working. All I need you guys to do is activate the card. It's the card in your system, you should be able to activate it, etc., etc. So the girl I talked to escalates to her manager because she can't find the card. I'm like, I understand you can't find the card because it's not activated. So I keep reiterating this to them, and this is a problem I generally have with customer service that doesn't speak English as a primary language. And I don't know if it's just, I think it's mainly a communication problem. When you don't speak English as your primary language, sometimes you don't understand certain things well. So, obviously there was communication issues, she wasn't understanding what I was saying, and so I had to go through a lot of the same stuff I went through with the person in the chat, even though I had told her everything that we'd already done. I told her that I had spoken to somebody over chat. She could have easily looked up the log of that. Don't know how easy that would have been necessarily for her. But we went through a lot of the same stuff, and she kept trying to, wanting to apply the confirmation code to an account. I said, no, please don't do that. This is a birthday gift for somebody. I really would like it to where the card is activated, but the claim code still works because I need to give it to my friend for her birthday. I even explained that to her. I said the reason I'm calling you is because I'm the one who bought the card. I have the receipts. I have the activation sheet. And the reason why I knew that the card wasn't activated is because the activation sheet had a number that was different than was on the card. And we'll come to that in a few moments. So essentially, they basically say they can't help me. The supervisor says, after multiple times trying to redeem the claim code, basically tells me that I need to go back to Walgreens. And Walgreens, she's like, that card's not activated. I'm like, yes, I realize the card's not activated, but you should be able to activate it. And you need me to send you a scan of my receipts and a scan of the activation sheet showing you that I had tried to purchase the card, or I had purchased the card and it just wasn't activated. Like, what do you need me to tell you? But she continued to reiterate, she can't help me, she won't help me. I don't know why, which is again why I'm just entirely flummoxed in this whole situation, because Amazon's always like, we'll do whatever we can. They'll eat the cost of things if you even if it's a mistake you make yourself. they'll fix it. They'll figure out a way to get it to work. Get things working. So it was very shocking to me that they weren't willing to do anything. They weren't even willing to try. Try to figure out a way to activate the card, or give me the customer service that I would expect from Amazon. So I was angry. I was very upset because I had wasted 20 minutes on chat, probably 30 minutes on the phone. I had to stop what I was doing for work to call them, so I could get in trouble, etc. Obviously I should have waited until I was done with work to deal with this, but I wanted to get it fixed now. That may be something that I need to correct in the future for myself. Not trying to be so impatient dealing with customer service, because I hate when people give me attitude or yell at me or anything like that. I was kind of doing the same things that they're doing that I hate. I was doing to them. So, but the end of the story ends up being I go back to Walgreens the next day, and I tell the first person I see there what's going on, and she can't really help me because it's not her store. So she goes to get the manager, who was the same person I had spoke to the day before, and had told me to call Amazon. So she looked into it further after she thought about it a little bit more after I had left the previous day, and came up with the hypothesis, which ended up being correct, and I didn't think of this until she brought it up, that another card had been activated, or maybe two cards had been purchased on accident, and the cashier voided one of them, but activated the wrong card. She activated one, voided the one that she activated, and gave me the one that wasn't activated. So that's essentially what happened. So the good part of it was Walgreens made it right. They gave me a new card, activated it, and I have to give it to my friend now to make sure that it works and she gets her birthday gift, which I will be doing here on Tuesday. But the moral of the story is, it still amazes me that Amazon wasn't even willing to try to make it right. It just amazed me. It just amazed me that Amazon wasn't even willing to try. And it's not like that they weren't saying, oh, it's our policy not to do this or that or the other thing. Okay, if that's your policy, then go ahead and tell me that. But they weren't even telling me that. They were just saying that I need to go back to Walgreens. Not giving me much, if anything, in regards to help. Trying to fix the problem right then and there on the phone, which they could have easily done by just giving me a $50 gift card code that worked. They didn't have to be the one that I was trying to get working. They could have given me a brand new one that came in their own store. They were eventually able to find the card, but they said it wasn't activated. So they know that I got. I guess they could have assumed that I stole the card, and they didn't want to activate it or give me a $50 gift code, because then I'd be supporting my stealing of the card. That's ridiculous. If somebody's really stolen this stuff, are they really going to go through all this gripe to get you to activate it? Whatever. It soured my image of Amazon customer service only a tiny bit. I've had a lot more success stories with them than I've had horror stories like this one. So at the time I was mad at them, and I was like, why you know, this is so shocking that Amazon's not willing to do anything to try to fix this. But in the end, it ended up being partially my fault. And when I realized that this had happened, so what essentially had happened, I went up to the register, gave the card to the girl, and I didn't realize that I had picked up 2 on accident. They're really thin, so it was very easy for me to pick up more than 1 card on accident. She checked with me, but after she had rang them in, she had checked with me to make sure that I was really wanting to get 2 of them. And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want 2 of them. I just want 1." So she voided one of them, but she didn't, rightfully so, wasn't really thinking about it. She didn't give me the right card in my bag. You know, it wasn't, I didn't think about it, she didn't think about it, you know, it happens. But that's essentially what happened, is she gave me the wrong card back. The card that was voided was the one that was activated, and the card that was actually given to me was not. Was not activated. I hit you, and yet you still don't do that. Okay? The moral of the story is, kids, if you accidentally pick up 2 gift cards, make sure you get the right one that matches your activation receipt. And also, don't be an ass to Amazon customer service. It's not their fault that you were a dumb idiot and picked up 2 gift cards. But I also think they could have handled the situation a little bit better as well. Granted, it was my fault, but they still could have handled the situation better. What am I? Gotta go up there. I put. Oh, bye, Harry. Idiot. Now it. I don't know if it's the port from the PS3 to the PS4 or what. It is. Things you're supposed to do, you can't do it unless you get it the right way. Professor Binns, a character that was never featured in the movies. Which rightfully so, because Professor Binns was the history of magic professor, and nothing really all that important happened in the history of magic class. In fact, I think other than Professor Grubbly Plank, Grubbly Plank was kind of featured, kind of in the background. I think Professor Binns is the only teacher that wasn't really featured in the movies. Didn't really have even a background. Like, you saw, you had Professor Trelawney, you had Snape, you had Sprout, you had McGonagall, who else? You had Flitwick, teacher. There was a teacher mentioned in the book for arithmancy, which was one of the classes Hermione was taking. So I guess you'd say that teacher was never featured. There's probably even the Muggle Studies teacher was featured in the last movie. But that's because she ended up being one of the people that Voldemort killed. Spoiler alert! If you've never seen the movie. Not really that big of a spoiler. You don't even know who that character is until she gets featured at the beginning of the movie. Nearing the end of this year, because this is the final Tri-Wizard Tournament thingamabob. The final half of the Tri-Wizard Tournament. Left, right, bottom. Come on. Guess I can't get that without... Oh, I guess I could jump like that. There we go. Gotta get all those studs. Right, left, bottom, top. Adventure. Lord Delacour. Oh, good job. Ah, I did it again. What in the hell? I don't know if that was meant to be that way, or the game was glitching. That was weird. Unlock. It's the Tri-Wizard Cup! Run! I'm gonna miss you, Cedric. I'm gonna miss you, Cedric. Actually, I think this is the last level. He looks so much more dilapidated in the movie. He just kind of looks normal. It's Voldemort! How rude. Oh boy. Story complete! Now we can finally go through and 100% all the levels.
Hey.
That's funny. Finish the story. It only took us, what, 3 months? But again, total game time, that's what, 5-6 hours? Maybe 7? I said I was just... God. Oh, Ron, she's gonna be your sister-in-law in a couple books. Gross.
Oh.
Huh? Oh God, Hagrid. Well, I think we'll 100% years 1 through 4 before we move on to 5. That's technically so but you know, they're years, so 5 through 7. But yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like the video. Let me know how I am doing in the comments. See ya.